No Nations Cup is easy these days.
No, they're all difficult, and especially when we have 4 which count for points to stay in the league. That's what happens here in Falsterbo for us. It's our 3rd event what counts for the points. After that we only have Hekstad. Till so far I'm quite pleased because we had 2 second places. On the home turf, Rotterdam was also really nice for us to have a good result once in a while. It was the first good result in 10 years.
That's unusual, is it then?
That's no, but that was good this year, so everybody was happy. So no, it's good, it's good.
You want a couple more results like that then, really? A couple of second places, will that see you through?
I think so. When we have one like Falsterbo tomorrow, I've got a new team here again, because I also want to get the new ones in, because that gives also a bit of a competition amongst each other in our country, that not everything goes by the 5 who went to Rome and to Rotterdam. I think we have a strong team again, and that's important also to get the new ones in. But also, it's really nice in those Nations Cups that you can make combinations. You can make combinations in not only in a way of performance in the arena, but also to make characters from riders, a team spirit, working together, and that's a good thing, because it's always difficult, but we managed always to get a good mix in between the Global Champion Tour shows and the First Division shows. It's not so easy, but I think also looking into the future, it's important that we keep that combination. And it's really nice to work with young people coming up, and also with the older ones, to work in those Nations Cups.
Every chef to keep that I've spoken to says exactly that. You know, you've got to broaden your horizons with young riders, but you've got to have the horses too, haven't you? With the amount of show jumping that's up for grabs these days, it must be difficult to get enough horses to go around.
Yeah, that's really difficult, because we have a lot of shows. There's a quantity of shows, and that is normally also for the high standard riders who are really high up in the ranking. That's difficult because you need a really good management, because also when you have the possibilities, when you have a really good horse and you are high on the ranking and you can go to all those shows, you have to make a really good management, because the horses are no machines. And it gets every time more difficult to find the really good ones. So that's a really important thing. And I must say, I'm a really happy coach, because all the good names in my country, like Michael van der Vleuten, like Herco Schreuder, Jeroen Dubbeldam, Harry Smolders, all of the others, Jur Vrieling, they all look forwards also into the First Division Nations Cups. They all work together, and we all together in a good communication, we find that a system that works good for everything, and that we keep on having fresh horses.
I think it's so important, and everyone seems to be the same. Most countries seem to have 4 or 5, as you say, top riders. You're not the only ones. But you have to have a lot of young riders coming along, because then you can pick and choose a little bit. You've got a lot of ammunition to go with.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important that we keep this league. And when I look a couple of years ago, the Nations Cups, the 2 rounds were huge, difficult, high and wide, and now that is going in a really nice and pleasant way, that when they're doing the 2 rounds of the Nations Cup, they're not killed. They can go on and they do some more shows, and that's really good. And now it's really important for us to get the new combinations coming up and make them better, and then that we make it more spread, that we can fill in all the shows in a better way.
There's an enormous amount of money come into show jumping, of course, as you say, across the board. When we used to do these Nations Cups 30 years ago, the Grand Prix was the big prize. We used to get a rosette for the Nations Cups.
Yeah, that was the honor, and still that is by a lot of riders. The honors is still there to ride for the country, and I think that we have to keep that also there, and not that we're going to be finishing off in the end, that all our athletes are going for individual sport. Now we have to make sure that is not going to happen, and that is our mission, together with the First and the Second Division Nations Cup shows we have, that we can bring new people in, that we can fill that together with the older ones, and maybe the booming stars at this particular moment, that we can make a really good mix in that. That's doable, but we have to work together and not against each other.
Tell me to mind my own business if you want to do, but I mean, as a chef to keep, you must have very much the World Championships in mind this year. Do you have a blueprint for who you will be taking there, so that you can program them up to WEG in the back end of the summer?
Yeah, we have. It is only a small group. We started with 6 riders, and those riders are used already in Rome and in Rotterdam. And but everything is really difficult in our way. The first stake, it's really important that it's a World Championship. Second stake is that it's a qualification for the Olympic Games in Rio in 2016. So it's important from all ways. And I'm always careful of mentioning names, because the closer you get by the deadline, the more things can happen. So we try to make also it more open, more wider, and maybe also some riders who are doing now Lummen this year, and St. Gallen and La Baule, and now here in Falsterbo, and maybe Ekstedt. You never know what comes up, and that's possible in our sport. In the show jumping world, that is possible, that a booming star comes up. Maybe you didn't think about that in March or April, but maybe it could be a possibility, but that's difficult because you need to have it on the short list.
We have a saying in England: a week is a long time in politics. A week or a month can be a long time in show jumping too.
No, I know now for the 10th year that I do it, it is like that, and it is really, you think in the beginning of the season you have everything covered, you have everything, the plan is there, the management is there, and then in the puzzle one piece falls away, and you have to start all over again. But that's a nice thing to do, keeps us sharp.
Well, let's hope it goes well tomorrow. Thanks for your time, Rob. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thank you.